Today's lesson will be about rectangular coordinates. This is section 1.1 in your textbook. From here on, we are finished with our review and we will proceed into the textbook. The essential question for this lesson is, what is the rectangular coordinate system or Cartesian plane, and how do you use it? Now here is a picture of the Cartesian plane or rectangular coordinate system. Note that it is really only two number lines, a horizontal x number line and a vertical y number line. And they intersect at a point called the origin. And these two number lines divide the plane into four parts or quadrants. The upper right quadrant is referred to as quadrant 1. The upper left is quadrant 2. The lower left, quadrant 3. The lower right, quadrant 4. Now, also notice that in quadrant 1, we've got the two plus signs. That means both x and y are positive. Now, if you look in quadrant 2, you'll notice a minus sign followed by a plus sign. That means the x values in quadrant 2 are negative and the y values are positive. Note that whenever you're referring to a point in the quadrant, in the rectangular coordinate system, the x value is always given first, the y value is always given second, and they're in parentheses. You'll notice the black dot in quadrant 2, that's the coordinates of that point are minus 5, comma 3. So the x value is minus 5, the y value is plus 3. Looking down to quadrant 3, we'll notice that both x and y are negative. And then moving over to quadrant 4, you'll see that x is positive and y is negative. So now let's review some formulas relating to points in the rectangular coordinate system. The first of these will be the Pythagorean theorem. Now this relates to a right triangle, as you can see right here, where the hypotenuse is C and the two legs are A and B. And basically, the Pythagorean theorem says the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides, or in other words, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now the next is the distance formula. The distance formula is how you calculate the distance between any 2 points in the Cartesian plane or rectangular coordinate system. Now, as you can see, this is just an extension of the Pythagorean theorem. So, if we've got a right triangle, we know that the hypotenuse is equal to the square root of a squared plus b squared. Well, if you move over to the right there, you'll see points A and B. The coordinates of point A on the rectangular coordinate system are x1, y1. The coordinates of point B are x2, y2. And basically, you end up having a right triangle with the two legs, x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, and the hypotenuse, in this case we refer to it as d, is simply the square root of the sum of the squares of the other two sides. And finally, we have the midpoint formula. This is where we have 2 points. The coordinates of the first point are going to be x1, comma, y1. The coordinates of the second point are going to be x2, comma, y2. And the coordinates of the midpoint, m, is simply going to be x1 plus x2 over 2 for the x-coordinate. And the y-coordinate is going to be y1 plus y2 over 2. Now, I would like you to find the distance between the points 4, 0 and 6, 8, as well as the midpoint of the line connecting these 2 points. Post your answers in the drop box.